Welcome back. The Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. This is a parallel timeline, as you can tell by our armor. Because when you kill Gortash, that locks you out of the quest called Stop the Presses. Along the way, we'll also find Dribbles' body parts. Near the Flaming Fist Barracks of Basilisk Gate, we just teleported from the waypoint, you find this unmarked house. You can lockpick and no one will care. Though if you smash it up, people will care. Like this guy. Girl, she won't appreciate if I smash this up. It's the attitude, Tran.
This corpse has been desecrated, displayed, and there's nothing random about it.
Circus clothes. What an end for Dribbles the clown.
The effigy of Balthazar, who lacked ambition. What use his refusal? He thought himself free, but destiny claimed his corpse the same. Or in the red.
Let's return back to the main street. Baldur's Mouth, that's the name of the publication we're about to enter. There's a couple ways you can get a satisfactory outcome. But since we're an evil party, I wanted to actually be labeled a menace. I wanted people to be in fear of us, but that's not what happens. They can slander you, or you can be slandered with your own publication. And I'll explain more about that once we get inside. But there's no good outcome for an evil character here. So we'll just be heroes, I suppose. Let's head on in. Just drink this real quick so I can show you. In the wicker baskets around the area and strewn throughout the building, you'll find 9 of these article blocks. Grave Robber's Spree is the name of this one. You can't read it. There's no text, so the writer of this segment didn't have to put this level of work into it. But the description of the item says, this article about the humdrum of Baldur's Gate doesn't talk about your arrival in the city. This is what we would call a neutral article block. And then the gray text below it, an article block primed for loading into an eager printing press. So we just need to find one that is positive and then put that into the printing press. Before we talk to Etvard to find out why we need to even do this, just go ahead and use greater invisibility. We've got plenty. And since this is a parallel timeline, me spending resources doesn't really matter too much. Just break through here. Oh, come on. We have to wait for him to get mad at me now.
Best keep your hands to yourself. You're being watched.
Okay, thanks, dude. Here. I pretty much might as well not even have bothered casting greater invisibility. Though that being said, I guess I could... I do understand I would fail a stealth check because I am wearing heavy armor. But that's part of my look right now. My good friend Etvard, I've noticed the quality of your work has been slipping of late, despite the new equipment I've provided. Tisk, Etvard. I'm sending along material for urgent publication about some dangerous adventurers who have been allowed into the city. Attend to it. And let's not hear any more of my interfering with your editorial voice, because that voice now belongs to me. In the city's best interest, of course. Gortash. It's so nice that all these bad guys sign the documents. We'll be uninvisible as soon as we talk to Etvard, but if we were seen walking out of that thing, he'd be upset with us again, and then we have to wait for the dialogue.
Well, if it isn't the city's next celebrity, you star in our next edition's top story.
Are you sure you have enough ink to cover all my adventures?
Oh, we have plenty of ink. Enough to cover all your misadventures in this good city. Trafficking refugees into our city is hardly a good look. Especially when so many are absolutists and murderers. The truth will be out with tomorrow's broadsheet. People will spit in your face. Your very presence will be bad for business. You'll be a pariah, an outcast, as you should be. And then, we can only hope the Fist do their duty and escort you to the gallows. Your days of scumming up this good city streets will be over.
This letter proving you're Gortash's puppet would make a better headline.
Pray tell, how exactly will you disseminate that information? What's the name of your highly popular broadsheet? No? Exactly. The headlines are loaded into the printworks already. Tomorrow, you will feel the power of free speech. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Now, guards! I believe our distinguished guest was just leaving. Would you care to escort them out?
Let the guards take me outside.
Once you've been taken outside in such a way, the guard that's standing on the balcony has left his post. And there's still even another way in, which we'll cover in the last bit. But the only way to get inspiration and quest completion to a satisfactory degree is to make your characters hailed as heroes in the printing press. I want to be a menace, but not spit upon. I want people to be afraid of us. Oh, okay. Well, on my rehearsal, he had left this post. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because they saw me blowing up stuff. That's probably why. Well, that's not going to be too much of an issue. Alright, he won't jump there. Just fly there. Clicking, clicking, clicking. I had to dismantle the city watch or steel watch because they can see you as you're picking this door. There are 2 steel watch in here. Of course, if you have demolished the boundary, then you have nothing to worry about. Throughout this area, you'll find little rooms or offices with some more lore of the area. Right now I'm looking for anything that might look like printing press blocks. I don't think there's going to be one in that gilded chest. Most of them are in the wicker baskets. I just don't remember where all 9 are. Pivot to new target. We can take a look at this one. It'll give us some context to the situation. This is by the boss. So I walk around the newsroom floor and what do I see? Half of you are still working on your usual old columns about syllabub recipes and road repairs. Knock it off. I made it perfectly clear in this morning's briefing that we're going all out to blight the reputation of that phony band of adventurers now stinking up the city. Throw all your usual columns in the rubbish bin and get to work on some hit pieces. Now! Here's a printing block right there. Cutest cat you've ever seen. And that's all it is. Even if I could highlight it, there's nothing new on the text for it. Here's an interactable broadsheet.
You examine what appears to be a test print of tomorrow's broadsheet. Numerous corrections are marked in red ink. You notice one of these corrections scrawled in the margins. Whoever's tampering with the printer, stop it. You're wasting my time. The content of the broadsheet is troubling. You feature heavily in the central article, lambasted as a danger to the city.
Yeah, I like that. I want our characters to be thought of as that. I want everybody to quiver in fear as we approach, but okay, game. See, I'm looking for a specific notes. It's not in this room. Maybe it was back upstairs. Basically, he's calling the staff as incompetent for saying that the printing press is possessed. He says, of course it's possessed. That's how it works. It could be upstairs. There's tons of books upstairs. Far be it from me, my lord, for me to question a decree from you, but I worry you haven't the full picture in mind. If we were to stop all production of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette for even a 10-day, our reach and audience impact would take a debilitating blow. Yes, I understand the portrait you've ordered we print is a Fevras original. That's Oscar Fevras, and he's also part of our quest we'll be doing to finish up Baldur's Gate. Yes, I understand what I'll do for your image before council next meets to discuss succession plans. I think they meant to discussion succession. Okay, plans. But please take a moment to consider what you're asking from me. Yours faithfully, Edvard Needle. And of course, he's. Oh, this is what I'd like. Public danger. That sounds cool, but no, this article's Weasley words weave a terrible tale about you, potentially reputation-shattering if put to print. And then there's the third type we haven't seen yet, that is the good one. We have to find a good one. Official print job. You are about to find out why we get you that fancy enchanted automatic printing press. This letter constitutes a mandatory printing order for 5 bundles of the official Gortash Archducal Coronation Portrait poster. This order is to be delivered as immediately as possible. Keep that press running all night, and we'll make sure the neighbors don't complain. And watch your quality control. We don't want Lord Gortash's face smeared or pumpkin colored.
If not over, then through.
Something over there.
What did you spot? Here's a manual. If you don't have help, we will have help, because in this timeline, we weren't mean to Dolly. In our real timeline, we smashed the lantern, freeing her, but not in a pleasant way. This just says that we can take any of the printing blocks and put it into the printing press. Note to self. My dearest Edvard, our new gift from the venerable Lord Gortash has already outstripped any production records the manual printer set. They're clever little bumpkins, those Gondians. Shame their foundry is such an eyesore. No, we're fully on board with the Gondians and their fantastic steel watch. That's the new line. In fact, the foundry could be argued to even accent Grey Harbor. My, I think I feel a travel feature coming on. All my love, Edvard Nito. Inside this backpack, we'll find a note saying, "Screw you." There's a sickness in our city, dear reader. It nibbles on the council's ear in private audience chambers. It clangs around our streets in steel automaton, and it whispers sweet nothings from the pages of this very broadsheet. The fetid presence of Lord Enver Gortash is rotting our city in its very core, and this reporter is personally ashamed to work for a publication. No, propaganda vehicle that allows the infection to spread. There's so much more to this story, dear reader, so very much, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Yes, you, Edvard, consider this my notice of resignation. And then instead she gets a notice of termination. While the mouth likes to nurture an atmosphere of open and honest debate within our newsroom, we draw the line at conspiracy, intimidation, and libelous behavior. You have become and are fostering a toxic, unjournalistic presence in the workplace, and while it brings me no joy, you've left us no choice. I do not accept your resignation. You are fired without pay, effective immediately. Any further harassment of myself, our staff, or any of our generous benefactors will force my hand in pursuing criminal action. All the best, Edvard Nito. Curse breakers or curse makers, that's a neutral one. I'm looking for a positive one, but I don't see one right now. It's not funny. This is just talking about typos, essentially. Gondian research report, wolves in sheep clothing, that's a negative one. Now the positive ones are probably upstairs. Alright. That's okay, because we wouldn't be solving it this way. But I'm showing you that this is how you would solve it. You would go through this a lot more thorough, searching every container, every nook and cranny, and find one of the 3 positive printing blocks.
You approach the printer, noting its ink splots and intricate cogs. Before you can get closer, however, it begins to speak.
Oi! Gormless! Over here! Thought I recognised you. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly was right. You aren't much of a looker.
Let me guess. Another Fae who needs freeing?
I'm not trapped, you fool! This printing machine is just marvellous. We've nothing like it in the Feywild. This is my paintbrush. I make sure everything that's in those big, ugly article blocks becomes fine printed artistry. I'm a master pensman, I am. Dolly can't stop talking about you. Hero this, hero that, hero here, hero there. Hello, hero. You know, there's some absolute filth about you in tomorrow's edition. Seeing as you were kind enough to free Dolly, how's about I do you a favour? Why don't we change the headline? We can load up something a bit less damaging for your reputation.
I don't want to meddle with the paper.
Ugh, boring! You deserve exactly what Edvard prints about you. I might even add a footnote about you having the clap.
There is a brief, disgruntled huff, then no more noises from the Fey creature. It seems you are on your own.
At this point, these are the dialogue choices that you would have if you didn't help Dolly, Dolly, Dolly. We'll just leave.
It'll suck to be you tomorrow, mate.
Why am I so disinterested in doing it the subtle way and making the printing press print nice things about Tran? Well, not only did I say it doesn't really fit our persona, there is another solution that we will be happy to employ. Remember that we have been banished from the premises, so we can't be seen leaving this area. There actually is another entrance, and we can kind of... Okay, when you hit O, it kind of zooms in after panning out. I want to fly up there. Now, they can still see us. If I were to take a shot at him with an arrow, you can see that someone's still looking in this direction. I think it's that guard right there. But we do have another alternative. And one of the quests that we'll be working on is Felogyr's Fireworks. You might have noticed that I've been carrying around these teddy bears for a very long time. And I mentioned a long time ago that no one knows you did it when it's the teddy bear. So, from me to you, have a bear.
Lift me up above your head. Higher, higher. Up, I said.
A clean kill. None of the others are even hurt. Yeah, let's get out of here. Why do you want to fly inside to leave? You just jump. We'll take the 30 damage. It's fine, because it's cooler to do that.
Sometimes I wonder why we're even friends.
That has been solved. Instead of printing bad things about the adventures, it's actually supposed to print the obituary of this dude. I've tried resting overnight and buying a broadsheet, but it's just a regular old sheet. That solves the stop the presses, though it doesn't officially quest complete until you buy the magazine the next day. Right, we're not going to worry too much about that. We can talk to this dude.
Do you know how hard it is to get those cabbages into? Wait. The stoic stance. Calming presence. You're one of those monastic types. You stay clear of my cabbages. You're sort of done enough damage as it is.
This is his line if you're a monk. I just knew this had to be a reference to something, so I looked it up. He is referring to Avatar, which I don't know anything about. Here's another piece of Dribbles.
Your service is in this part of town.
I wouldn't say I'm certain, just optimistic.
What's that?
The guards necessary mess with me, so I'll crouch here and take a peek at Frank Pear Tree. I believe you can speak with the dead him as well, but he just tells you about the dwarf in red.
You've been picking where you shouldn't, Pear Tree, placing the lordlings' fire spitters throughout my city. Disgusting. They'll leave no blood. There's no art to it at all, just burnt ash and corpse cinder. I walk through your basement here as I pen this. It's rather large, roomy. They'd never find all the bits of you if I spread them out here properly. And inside the basement, which it hints to.
Come on, open up. That corpse is huge. And is that a burning heart?
We find a clown's severed arm.
A clown's arm. Dribbles, no doubt.
The effigy of Yagashura, whom burned his mortality. What use his heart? He thought himself a titan, but died whispering for his mother.
Emerging from the basement, we are now in the correct timeline.
No, you mustn't. The city is full.
We are right outside the guild hall down this way. We'll go ahead and continue walking down the stairs, and we'll reach Felogyr's Fireworks. I brought this party so we can hear them talk.
Who says the many colors remind him of home? But Minsc has never enjoyed these fireworks.
They may have their purposes. You could cast fireballs of sorts without having to spend years studying magic tomes.
Archdruid, you are as formidable in mind as you are in muscle. Gather the sparking sticks, Boo! With sword in one hand and these in the other. We need truck with wizards no more!
a long time ago, we met this dude, I think his name was Arthur, and he told us to head to the fireworks and say that an uncle sent me. There were teddy bears that we had gotten, and we just spent one of them, although it was in the parallel timeline. The Dribbles body parts, these are what we've already acquired and hints on to where we've gotten them. So for example, the head, we got when we defeated Orin and got the soul stone and whatever her armor piece is. The torso, we found in the basement of the church where Father Lorgan is, and you first get told about the murders. That's where we got this knife and the Oathbreaker night boots. The clown's severed arm, we had found that near Felogyr. That's the one we just emerged from and picked up. So this is where we're getting it. The clown's severed hand you can buy from Popper, the kobold inside the carnival itself. The carnival is marked by the internal carafe. I don't know if that's how you say it, of wine. And the Booze of Veritas blinking. That's the genie who has this wheel of wonders. Finally, we have the clown's severed pelvis, which we found near Basilisk Gate. I marked it with the Basilisk Oil and a Scroll of Dimension Door. It's not the Gate spell, but I think Gate is a 9th level spell. I don't... you can only go up to level 5 magic in this game. There's 2 more things, and these are clues for how we would get them, but we will happen across them during this episode. Let's go and talk to Avery Sonshaw.
Steady. Faces, hands, and eyebrows. How do we protect them?
Watch for wind direction. Put on your gloves. And a light at arm's length.
Very good. And what does Uncle Felogyr always say?
Once it's lit, you commit.
Excellent! Now remember, Felogyr's fireworks accepts no liability for singed nails, toasted eyelashes, loss of limbs, scalded torsos, or blown off heads. Now, you there. What can I do for you?
I don't know who this Felogyr is, but we can just say that he sent me. We probably will never beat this guy. For now, let's go ahead and see what he has for sale.
Very good. Browse responsibly now.
And we can buy such as 3d6 fire damage, or, Woglims. These are, of course, no mission names. If you bring Lae'zel, she'll go ahead and mention it, saying that they have short fuses.
Remember, once it's lit, you commit. And if it's not a firework, do whatever you like.
Alright, now let's give him the passphrase.
Have you tried the Lanternese candles? Or perhaps the delicate simplicity of a perfectly crafted torch is more to your taste?
Oh, speaking of which, he does have unique torches. We'll go ahead and take a look and even buy them. Cemetery Blue Torch. +2 acid, that is from my ring of +2 acid damage. It has nothing to do with the torch. You can also buy these as well.
I'm here to visit Uncle Felogyr. He sent me, if you catch my drift.
Aha! You must be Arthur's friend. Keep your voice down. Yes, he's just upstairs, but only one flight. If you get to the top, you've gone too far. Browse as irresponsibly as you like. Just don't tell the other customers.
There's a basement level, but we'll go and take a look at that in a little bit once we've cleared out this place.
Head on up. Your uncle is waiting for you upstairs.
Let's go and equip this torch. Nobody seems to mind too much. We'll wave it around all these fireworks, but nothing happens yet.
Any torches, matches, wizards, or other sources of open flame, keep them unlit, please.
You hear that, Gale?
Not critical, just a bastard if it breaks. Won't blow us up.
I'm gonna double click.
Steady.
Another friend of Felogyr? All right. Just remember the top floor's off limits, password or not. Looking to buy a little something extra, then?
I smell the crackle and fire of power. What exactly is going on upstairs?
That could not be less of your business.
What have you got?
Smoke powder in its earthier forms. For purists only.
I don't know why it sometimes switches between trade and barter. There weren't any cuts there where I switched between the two tabs. We can buy a couple smoke powder arrows. Woo. I mean, it's nice. We'll go and add that to our stockpile, our ever-growing pile, but it's just 2 arrows.
Don't jostle any of the merchandise on your way out.
We didn't even manage to get the thunder arrows, but it's fine. If we try to cross over the table, this guard will talk to us.
Steady. Any spillage, and they'll be picking my teeth
Pressure
out of the
steady.
roof beams.
Are we at...
Employees only, Pasteur. If you're expecting any packages, they'll bring them down to you.
We could take this storage key, and nobody seems to mind too much.
Arrest the smell?
Let's go and drink potions of invisibility, and we'll just creep right on past and get some rare dialogue. Every single one of the guys upstairs, I think there's about 7 or so, can be spoken to, and they do have their own unique dialogue. But battle immediately begins.
Any spillage, and they'll be picking my teeth out of the roof.
Investigate these suspicious toys.
Where's an apprentice when you need one?
We reached the top floor of Felogyr's fireworks and discovered Baynite cultists assembling explosives. We need to stop them. Go and talk to this one.
Not critical, it's just a...
I like trespassers. I like the sounds they make when I break their bones.
And let's go ahead and begin battle. Now, by throwing this guy outside, this fist often gets involved and does battle with you. Come on, Minsc, I'm trying to select you. I'm hitting F2, I'm clicking his name. Alright, oh, I think I was trying to bring Avery into battle there. We throw you out the window. What we're gonna do is Minsc, make you back up some. I haven't tried this yet. Let's get these well and truly out of our way. Gale, unfortunately, cannot move yet, but we might be able to get Halcyon to set off a spark nonetheless. Target blocked. There we go. Nope. Alright, there used to be a person there. Oh, she's over there. So she's not quite gibbed, but that's alright. Wild shape, and we'll turn into about water so we can put this out. And then it's Tran's turn. I was thinking that if we weren't able to throw him, we could Zephyr break the guy out the window. But he's not actually dead yet. You could fly on down and try to kill him. That's an awkward path to fly. But it would probably make it easier for the enemy to attack, chase after me. So why don't we do that? Fly back up. Not enough movement speed. That doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised it let me fly all that way anyways. Not sure really how it's calculating this path, because I still have half my movement speed. Minsc can still move. Let's go ahead and take some shots here. Hold off an action surge. Now, these guys, although they are serving the Baynights upstairs, lots of the Bay Knight soldiers. I don't actually think they are, because if you were to take a look at this guy's mace, it is not one of these Scourge maces or whatever this called, the necrotic mace damage ones. It's just a regular one. So I assume that these guys are working for the fireworks place. They probably know something fishy is going on upstairs, but maybe not to what extent. Additionally, all of it's sanctioned by Gortash, so for all they know, they are helping out. It's one of the same reasons why you wouldn't necessarily go inside the Baldur's Mouth and kill all the journalists there. We did prepare him the fire shield so he could cast things such as Fireball and Flame Wall or Firewall, but there's not really very many people left up here. Let's get a Quicken spell. Not sure that's actually hitting him. It might be. Yeah, it is. We'll just lead that into the room. Now, given the 3 levels in this place, 3 levels as in bottom level, the mid shop, and the alchemy lab at the top floor, it's understandable that you might just want to leave somebody on the bottom floor to make the fight end faster. Apparently he's in my invulnerability sphere here. Yeah, as far as the Felogyrs know, they probably just suspect some terrorists are attacking their building. What you could do is, if you don't speak to these guys upstairs, you could actually knock out all these people and they will still be alive. But since I did speak to them to show you that dialogue, they'll just be forever hostile. Which is one of the reasons why the Fist guy, he gets annoying. He does get involved in the battle too often. I'm clicking. Alright, Tran. That's really the way you need to take that path. Drink a potion of speed. See how much damage we can do with this. Is there anything else we can do with that attack? I think this is it. It's still a lot of damage. And let's just throw him out the window because it amuses me. Now you see why I make sure to have the invulnerability up. But Tran managed to survive that attack. There's not much left upstairs. So what we could do is... Can I Misty Step down here? Probably not. Let's Misty Step across the room. And we will go and execute these people because we did initiate dialogue. So since they are forever hostile, we'll just take care of them. But I would say that on your playthrough, just don't speak to anybody up here and knock out these people. And that way you can manage to maintain the store if you wanted a supply of smoke powder bombs and fireworks. I'm sure that there are uses that a player can find to have those things. Bonus action for that. We'll do a throw. How much movement do I have? If I were to move there, that would use up the rest of my movement. So no, we'll head over to this window and then throw her out. Let's try to throw her into the guard.
I'd sooner split a skull, but as you wish.
Apparently she was in the invulnerability sphere there. That was actually the best move I could have done. Oh, he's invulnerable as well. Action surge now. Turn off the invulnerability globe. Cast grease right here. This is exactly what you want to be casting inside an exploding firework place. Cancel this. See, actually, there are. Is there anybody alive in this fire? Doesn't look like it. Just over here. So we'll go and cancel the fire near us, and we'll explosive icicle these guys. There's also a blast mine right there, which unfortunately it doesn't look like we set off. Gale, what can we do with you? We can throw a chain lightning spell into that room. That should hit her as well. Okay, they did not make it out, so we'll go and turn off Wall of Fire. And we have a couple people over on that side to deal with. I'm assuming that Gale would take a lot of damage leaping out the window here, though it would be funny. Trying to get you to leap down the stairs, Gale. I mean, if you want to walk closer to Minsc right next to the window, yeah, let's do that. This is what windows were made for. I think Gale set off the grease pit. Yeah. Because he was on fire as he ran over to meet with Tran. He lit up the grease pit. Now that we've cleared out the place, we can look at the hatch as well. Let's head back upstairs. Boom, bang, blast, the joy of fireworks. It's time for some light reading. We have plenty of fire to read by. If you find my little book in your hands, it is most likely because you, like myself, live for the thrill of combustion. It can be but a fraught road, discovering an outlet for such a passion that leads not to destruction, but to delight. Ah, delight. This is the point entire of the art of firework. To enchant, to move, to titillate. Within these pages, you'll find the distillation of my many years of firecraft, with the hope of elevating this craft I love so well. I wish you the best of luck, and do stop by my shop in Baldur's Gate for supplies, advice, and camaraderie. I'm always keen to meet like minds for explosive conversation. Sincerely, Avery Sancho. Let's see if there's anything left in this wreckage. Oh, I think the Flaming Fist is upset with me. It paused me for a minute. As you're walking around up here, I've noticed a flicker of a flaming fist appear behind me from time to time because I'm trespassing and the game is trying to treat it as a crime. Installation of self-destruction element in the Iron Throne was successful. Used majority of explosives ordered. No questions asked, none answered. Gortash will be pleased. Wait, and search Black Gauntlet Uva. Check her out real quick. I don't recall there really being anything up here. But you do have to knock out everybody in the building. I mean, the hostels. They all have to be dealt with. Even if you go up here and kill everybody, it still doesn't give you a quest completion. Although there are still people in this shop, they will dislike you if they catch you doing something like picking up the fireworks, anything left over. So I might as well have blown it up, as you saw here. So we can crack this open. Is that the only lockpick I had on my person? Normally there's a try again button down here. And there we go. I went in Cat's Grace and Guidance on myself, and we did manage to finally get it open. Down here you'll find just a couple traps, far less traps than you did in the abandoned house.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
I think there's one here and one there. There should be a second trap somewhere. Alright, well, I don't spot it. Right, the key we took from upstairs. There's the lever. I think the trap's in this room.
Step carefully.
Yeah, there it is.
There's a trap.
So a bunch of extra smoke powder barrels for the kleptomaniac player, and one that is cutely placed in this cart right here. So don't forget that one as well. All right, let's head to the next location. This place would be a great resource for explosives if you weren't trying to make a video. We went ahead and switched our party to get more dialogue. I can just get them to start speaking.
Oh man, whiz-bangs!
Keep calm, Karlach. One bad flare, and you could blow this whole place.
Oh man, whiz-bangs!
Better.
Little steps.
Path lies before me.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and proceed on down the street. Oh, the corpses actually are right over here. Let's go ahead and look at them real quick. This is the alternative entrance into the basement. Can't search this Bay Knight though. That'd be illegal. But I can search the merchants. And the fellow guard. We have a note, soot-stained letter. My dear fellow Avery, you have done well so far, but do allow the production of smoke powder to flag. No one will question a firework shortage in case of a crisis. Never fear, my friend. I'll take personal interest in your shop to cover any lost income. My sincerest wishes for your success. Even though there's a Mind Flayer Parasite right here, that's actually pretty solid of Gortash to offer to compensate for any lost business. That was completely unnecessary considering this guy could be as much of any sort of slave. Clerk Tamara. Also another note. This one speaks about the nobleman we met in the very beginning of Rivington. Tamara. I know our toymaker friend is part of the cause, but what I have seen is worryingly unsubtle. Last thing we want is to be held accountable for his activities. If he comes in looking for more stock, tell him we're undersupplied. I'd rather not have the shop's good name ruined. Back up the street, past the now orphan. Here's the Marketplace Plaza, where you can see Karlach's friend and the very loud performers on stage in front of the fountain.
Everyone's a critic.
Everything is going to be all right.
Alright, continuing down here past the merchant, the trinket merchant, we'll see Beehive Goods and Wares. The reason why I'm pointing that out is right behind Beehive Good and Wares is Rainforest Home. The front entrance will be giving you a red padlock, so they would be very upset. People would be upset if you tried to pick that. However, since we have the power of flight or jumping, we could just go here or there. Let's just hop over here and see if anybody can follow us.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're not even very far in yet.
That's because you keep interrupting me.
Well, these guys will warp with me in a second here, so we'll just ungroup for a moment so they won't get in trouble, and take a look upstairs. This is the bloodstained parchment. I don't know why, but there's one of these basically near every corpse you find related to the case, but you have to think about it in terms of in-game lore. Would the Red Dwarf be carrying around copies of this and then marking down killed on every single one? For example, when he kills Rainforest, is he going to write down killed on every copy of the pamphlet? If so, why is it that the previous bodies in the list also have Rainforest killed? This is, I get it, it's for the player, but it makes no sense in world. There's nothing on his corpse, but he is a little bit interesting to speak to. Let's, there it is. I sometimes forget where Speak with the Dead is.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What were you doing when you died?
Investigating odd records.
Yeah, he's a little more interesting than Pear Tree, who you can also speak with the dead.
What odd records?
Tombstone. Shop. No owner. Decades now.
Yeah, he's actually following trails leading to the Ball Cult. And there's little hints as to reasonings for each person that gets killed, such as helping Gortash or investigating the tombstones. So I like that it adds a little bit of flavor should you decide to look around a little further.
What was your job?
Dogs. Ombudsman.
What in the hell is an ombudsman?
Sort problems. Check everything.
What happened to you?
Murdered. Obviously.
Obviously.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
By his corpse, we'll find a cheese log. I'll let you pause if you want to read it.
These boots have seen everything.
And then we'll speak to his little rat friend.
Hello, hello. Ooh, are you the new cheese dropper? I do hope so. I'm almost down to the last crumbs.
I don't even know what a cheese dropper is.
A person who drops cheese, which I eat.
Obviously. What happened to your last cheese dropper?
Alexander was his name. He dropped all manner of morsels, but the cheeses were the best, until the Red Man visited.
Tell me about this red man who visited Alexander.
A dwarf, all dressed in red. He smiled and held Alexander close, and then Alexander was shouting and struggling, and soon he was all dressed in red as well. So many red morsels fell out of Alexander. They tasted like salt and rust. Very good, even better than cheese.
Alexander is dead.
I feared so. A calamity. He dropped such good cheeses.
Do you realize you ate Alexander's innards?
Yes, tasty. He didn't eat them anymore. Go away now. Your delicious scent makes me crave your morsels, but it would be rude to bite you.
He's a very polite fellow. To get our teammates to show up, we're going to go ahead and bash down this door and hop down the hatch because we are looking for Dribbles' body part. person to pass on by, and hopefully we'll do this while getting everybody upset at us. Touching the hatch is also bad. Oh, they did not like that. We'll hide in the basement for a little bit. Let's go ahead and chat with Minsc real fast while we wait for the heat to cool down.
What? Minsc has the itch that only a butt can scratch. A kicked butt, I mean.
I'd like to know a little more about you. I don't think you're half as dumb as you pretend.
How dare you? Minsc pretends at nothing, half the way or otherwise. Minsc is an open book, with many pretty pictures.
Tell me about Rashomon.
Oh, my friend. There is much more to know of Minsc's homeland than he could ever put into words. Boo might fare better, but his home is far stranger again. Well, in many ways, it is the very opposite of this city. The far side of Faerun, with empty plains, white forests, and peaks that pierce the very belly of the sky. But it is like the city too. Here, it is loud with the daily wailing of people. In Rashomon, it is also loud, if you know where to listen. The Telthors, guardian spirits of every root, rock, and tree. Here in the Sleeping Lands they are silent, but in the far north, they know how to speak still.
So plants and trees speak to you, like your hamster.
Such a skeptic, my friend. Minsc cannot prove the point to you, for the Telthors of this land lie sleeping. And for this, we had best be glad. In Rashomon, a Telthor is wind and snow and soil. In Baldur's Gate, it would be stink and stain and a far less pleasant type of soil. If my meaning is not clear, just check under your boot.
Rashomon sounds like an interesting place. Why did you leave?
The first time, my Dajema, a warrior's quest of proving. Minsc quickly proved that quests do not always go as the stories say. As you know, he stumbled at the first step, protecting his witch. After wandering a ways and some savings of the Sword Coast, Minsc returned to Rashomon to find a welcome fit for hamsters and heroes. The Iron Lord himself came to bear witness to Boo. Minsc of Rashomon, said he, your Dajema is done. Minsc politely disagreed. Dinah here was dead, and so his Dajema could never be done. Then swear your service to me, Minsc of Rashomon, said he. Serve your land as your lord's chosen champion. Minsc politely disagreed. It was a little awkward, but he had already sworn his service to Boo. Minsc of Rashomon, said he. You insult your Iron Lord. We will settle this matter in the circle of combat. It was only polite for Minsc to agree. After they carried the Iron Lord away, the Council of Witches gave Minsc a pack of provisions and said it would be best if he continued his adventures for a time. Yes, Boo, that was before we were stone. Perhaps we are due a little homecoming when all of this is done, no?
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish. Boo, do you have much to say on the matter of something else?
Have you and Jaheira always had such a quarrelsome relationship?
We have. Is it not wonderful?
Do you even know what quarrelsome means?
To irk your friend so that she wishes to fill you with some crossbow quarrels, but knowing she never will for fear of hitting your hamster. There is no need for sweet words between companions such as we. Too often those are the weapons of flatterers and frauds. But she who will beat you about the head with the cold and pointy truth, that is a true Wicklaren.
For such a sacred title, you hand it out pretty freely. First Dinah here, now Jaheira.
You suggest that Minsc uses the term lightly? Simply leaps from Dynaheir to Jaheira with no caring for the custom itself? An unworthy thought. And wrong. In between, there was also Eri, my second witch. She needed a protector, and Boo suggested that it might as well be Minsc. And when she went her own way, Minsc and Boo set to thinking. There is power in the Wicklaren bond. Far too much to be wasted on weeping. To use that power to serve the living does not sully the dead. It honors them.
Of course, that's nothing to do with the Wicklaren bond. It's just being a friend.
So, duty, camaraderie, help in troubled times. What I call the bond of a Wicklaren, you simply call friendship. I think I understand your meaning. Then Jaheira is my Wicklaren. And so are you. You are my Wicklaren. And Will is my Wicklaren. And Lae'zel is my Wicklaren. And Gale is my Wicklaren. And Shadowheart is my Wicklaren. And Halsin is my Wicklaren. And Karlach is my Wicklaren. Or, no, Karlach is a berserker, so perhaps Minsc is her Wicklaren? My thanks to you, Wicklaren. You have given me much to think on. And should some enemy knock it loose again, Boo shall remind me.
Let's go and switch to Asterion and disarming these traps. Maybe just a couple of them. Over here we'll find the Faded Scroll of Reversal, which I don't know if means anything. The time-bitten parchment of this scroll flakes and frays, obscuring most of its content. It appears to describe the process for breaking an enchantment that has bound a mighty dragon to another's surface. And a potion of Featherfall, which would blow up if you touched the blast mine or triggered anything. Nothing on this course, but one on Winslow. We'll find the Foot and Abizagale the Fourth.
The effigy of Abizagale, who soared on shredded wing. What use his pride? He thought himself a dragon, but died as a worm. Orin the Red.
How nice of her to always leave notes behind.
Dribbles' foot. Oh, and it smells even worse than it looks. Oh.
There's not really much in here. You'll find a trap.
A trap? Someone doesn't like visitors.
But there really isn't much in this strong box. We'll pick it anyways, just to show you. 200 gold and a Justin, if I said that correctly. Over here is slightly more interesting. Several books around the room. Tombstone shop notes. The place is strange. It seems disconnected from Condor Hall's main mortuary business over in Eastway. In fact, they don't seem to sell anything at all. Must stay alert. I think the shop lad may have noticed me hanging around. I'll give this observation just one more day. Then over here, we'll find...
a trap. Someone doesn't like visitors.
Rather than being a trap, it's a secret passage. So I think they just used the wrong bark for that. There is a trap over here, however.
Dear. Someone's left a trap out for us.
And unfortunately, there's not much on this side either. We'll open up this chest and 40 gold. Wow! Find a great sword over here, a Rainforest chest key. But maybe it's for the strong box we already lockpicked. I don't remember any chests upstairs that we didn't see, or that we would have availed ourselves of. No, that was not locked. Okay, let's head on back up, and we have 3 more stops to make before the end of the episode. As with things that are red, you can actually walk around here and there's no issue, but touching the hatches would make people upset. However, we've been down there long enough that the guards no longer care about us here. Let's head on over here, and this shop will immediately blow up, and depending on which entrance you're near, the merchant will come out to come talk to you.
Just one gold piece. That's all I ask.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. Did you see that? Incredible.
I already.
Oh, my silk. What are the chances? It's you. And the heart-stopping bloodsucker. Ever since our last liaison, I haven't been able to get you out of my mind.
Nor have I, no matter how hard I try.
Forgive the mess. Your blood is far more volatile than I'd anticipated.
I knew my blood was potent, but I didn't know it could do that.
It's a breakthrough in the sanguine arts, the likes of which the world has never seen. The Grand Matriarch will have no choice but to restore House Ablodra after I present her with my research. But listen to me, rabbiting on about myself when I have you, the prize bleeder, on my very doorstep. If you'd come inside, we could discuss something far more exciting than drow politics.
Lead the way.
Not if you lead me first.
She does have some problems pathfinding her way into her spot. And you can't talk to her until she's settled down. That's why I cast the Ice Ray now, so that she could manage to get to this spot over here. There is a basement as well. I guess we'll go and take a peek at it. So first we'll steal this key then.
God, what a mess.
What's the matter with you, Freshie?
Talk to her before she leaves too far.
Promise. Ah, a cozy little spot, isn't it? These four walls have witnessed greater alchemical triumphs than the keep of Erngath Durand. And now that you're here, the crown jewel of my research is soon to be faceted. All you have to do is drink Formula Gruner.
I trust you haven't forgotten what happened when I drank something she offered. This formula won't be any kinder to you.
Formula Gruner.
Well, yes. Formulae Arku through Fruak were spectacular failures. But Gruner is different. Believe me.
What will this formula do?
When you first entered this home, you saw the incredible latent power within your blood exposed in all its nuances. Formula Gruner will unleash that power within you. Risky, but, safe.
I can probably handle a little fire, but I'm not sure about the rest of you.
I won't be drinking any mysterious formulas today, thanks.
Not even for the betterment of the alchemical arts the realm over. Not even for that.
All right, hand it over.
Oh, marvelous. I've never been so excited for anything in all my days. Just stand over there, far over there, and drink up.
Don't stand anywhere near where you could damage her property, because
Excuse me, where do you think you're going?
if she sees you, it'll count as vandalism, and then she'll be upset and call the guards, and that could easily rack up a $5,000 fee. As for the body parts, oh, Asterion has it. Let's go and send that over to Tran. We now have the foot. It's next to the beehive. General goods store. Go and drink this.
Am I explosive?
Some of it, at least. Oh my! My heavens, you lived! This is incredible! I'm seeing stars!
My ancestors breathed fire. Did you really think that would kill me?
My friend, I had no such intention. You don't know what this means to me, to my research. You are the world's first detonative exsanguinator. To put it simply, from this day on, your blood goes boom. Big boom. It's incredible. All it needs is a spark.
That seems quite powerful. Thank you.
I assure you, the pleasure is entirely mine. This research will skyrocket House of Baldur back to the forefront of Drow scientific thought. Indeed, it could protect my line for generations. Now, let me offer you a little treat. In exchange for the teensiest vial of your marvelous blood, I'll give you something that'll really throw your enemies for a loop. I'll only ask a nominal fee in exchange.
You've had enough of my blood.
Now, darling. Let's not be rude.
He said no. You should learn the meaning of the word.
Why do you need more of my blood so badly?
My research will be quite worthless without proof. And my proof is running through your veins. I only need a tiny bit. Then my life will truly begin.
Fine, take some then.
You really are a fine collaborator.
In return, we are able to buy sanguine explosives, 8 to 64 damage. Cool.
Until next time.
We survived the effects of the experimental potion Araj al-Blodro derived from our blood. Now we've got fire in our veins and someone willing to give us explosive blood potions. Let's sneak in down this hatch over here. First we'll look over at her book. Then we'll sneak into the hatch. There it is. So I can demonstrate this blood explosion.
It is said all House of Baldur perished when our estate was cast into the Claw Rift. I am its last living daughter. Now the Abyssal Gulch in the heart of Menzo Branzen, where our house was thrown, is but an amusement. Priestesses love their men, bending them over its ledge, sometimes letting them fall. I will travel to the rift's depths to restore our lost home. I shall use the bones and gore of the useless, hapless men who were tossed into the pit to grow copies of the dead. Thus will I generate an obedient flesh army who will die for me and my house. The rest of the houses refuse to recognize House of Baldur's rise. I will use my explosive tinctures to blow the undersupports of the rest of Menzo Branzen into pieces, one section of the Claw Rift at a time, until all the rest collapses. There, I shall be queen of my new swarm.
There, and she's over there, so this makes it easy for us to sneak in. Okay, so if I were to fall from a height and take damage, it's actually normal blood, but if my character gets hit, he now has... I mean, it's called explosive blood, but it's not that... Be cautious. It's not that good. Try to hit Tran here. We have unstable blood on the floor. Let's go ahead and back up. How much damage is the open crate was hit for? 2 fire damage. 1d4 fire. Ooh, it's just like regular burning. Oh, yeah, it's not that fantastic. Finish knocking down this door. In fact, the door didn't even take damage.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even loot on these guys. You can find a Mind Flayer Parasite, which is the best loot by far. We'll find a dead giant spider. In fact, is this a secret room right here? No, nothing I can click on. And that's all I've discovered down in this basement. If she sees you leaving this area, it will be called trespassing because those stairs themselves were red. She's still walking around outside. Yeah. This is Laura's house right here. That's the pirate lady who gave us the sword.
You love bacon, remember?
we were here with the Dribbles foot and the cheese dropper. Then we entered this alchemy lab, and now we're heading over here, and that'll be it for Dribbles body parts. There's an oak door. We can probably pick that with the Astarion. There is a tunnel somewhere in this mess, right there. Let's see if we can find a key for that. Never mind, we'll just pick it.
Mummy, that's right. Mummy is here.
I feel like I'm playing the game in slow motion, probably because Baldur's Gate Lower City is such a large map, so it takes a while for everything to load. Bunch of bodies, Mind Flayer, Drow, and also Dwergar back here.
This body, a sacrifice, or some kind of display?
We'll find Clown's severed leg and Sindai the Third.
The effigy of Sindai, who made herself many, used her multitudes. She thought herself a warrior, but only her blood soaked the soil, or in the red.
Judging by the state of the leg, this must be part of the clown.
Some warrior. She's level 1 with 10 hit points. I get that these are already deceased NPCs, but since they already show you the stats and you can hit T on any of them, I feel like they should actually give them reasonable stats for that character. Didn't mean to try to talk to Astarion. Just an empty room. I didn't see anything like passages or treasure in this room. Alright, now that we've had, I believe, all of Dribbles' body parts, the leg, even though there's clearly a foot attached to it, counts as the leg. And this is, my clues for this, or marking it is, it's where you get the duelist prerogative, the pirate lady, and it's a little bit up on the map, so I just use this up arrow. And these should be all the parts. We have 7 body parts. They are actually quite heavy. 0.2, 8, 15, 8, 8, 15, and 5. So if you were to find the first piece, the hand, and then hold onto it thinking that you're going to get the other body parts soon, no, unfortunately not. You will have to pretty much scour Baldur's Gate to get these body parts. So you might as well just store him in your chest. I'm sure he'll be fine. It's not like he's going anywhere. It's probably, I would say, one of the longer running quests, given how spread out it is. If you knew where they all were, then yes, it could be over fast. But chances are you won't get there until much later on you've completed most everything in your quest log.
Hello again, my vicious little warrior. Any luck finding Dribbles?
This is every part of Dribbles I could find.
Oh, perfection. This is just what I need. His flesh has a few rat bites and his teeth are missing, but these are minor issues. I shall remake Dribbles better than before, where once he was famous, he will now become legend. And you? Here, darling, a little something from your friend, Lucretius. My circus and I can now finally leave.
It's a big circus. How are you going to get out of the city?
It's called magic, darling. Do keep up.
You're leaving, right now.
Not this instant. So should you wish for anything from my staff, be quick.
You wouldn't happen to be hiring, would you?
As much fun as you and I would have on the road, alas, no. I think we both know that you're destined for greater things.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Lucretius.
And I you delectable vintage. Oh, and if you do take on the absolute, do try not to end up like poor Dribbles. You are so very pretty after all.
Lucretius thanked us for our... Can't read it, hold on. Something, help probably. She intends to raise Dribbles from the dead with some improvements. The circus will soon leave Worm's Crossing. When we find Spell Mighty Gloves, when casting a spell that requires an attack roll, you take a -5 penalty to the roll to deal an additional 1d8 damage. Okay, I think I had that initially confused with Quick Finger Gloves, which is not in my inventory right now. But yeah, it's an okay set of gloves. I would not say it's worth the giant headache, considering you can also pickpocket it from her. Spellmite Gloves used to work with Magic Missile, but no longer does. If a spell size melee instead of attack roll into spell descriptor, that is still an attack roll, and is still affected by it. Multiple attacks, such as Scorching Ray, do count 1d8 per ray, and while you might compare this to Great Weapon Master or the ranged feat Sharpshooter, it's not plus 10 damage. It's 4.5 on average if it hits. So you definitely want to pair this with something that hits 3 times or more. Thank you very much for watching Tran wins Baldur's Gate. I'll see you next time.